Hello there, Aries. So this is your reading for the full moon in Pisces / Neptune Retrograde until November 28th for the rest of 2020. So following on from this, because we've just had the full moon in Pisces and the effects of that are going to be felt until the next full moon, we have here the call of balancing spirituality and practicality. So it might be that you feel drawn to exploring certain things that have perhaps cropped up seemingly from nowhere that you feel very drawn to pursue. This is just true for everybody, but we'll pull some more oracle cards and we will also do a traditional tarot reading for the rest of this 2020 strong manifestation Piscean energy. And I'll also be pulling one oracle card which will be it's like a guidance of lessons that are important to pay attention to during this time. So that'll be like your individual energy that you're being called to reflect on and meditate on until for the rest of the Piscean season, Aries. But normally I do pull either oracles or mages at the start of each reading to get like an overall feel. So we'll pull you some lunar oracle cards and we'll discuss those and then we'll relate them to the tarot spread. I really want to take my time with this, but I don't want to make it too long for you, Aries. Okay. Oops. So straight out we have take time to breathe out, the disseminating moon. Whenever we have a moon that's on the wane or approaching new moon status, it's really about sometimes surrendering. There's like a surrender energy that this is related to. It's also about letting things take their course, knowing that you can't rush what comes, Aries. In terms of your Piscean energy here, it's about perhaps acknowledging that you've received some kind of higher wisdom during this time, and Aries, you're serious fire energy. You're a cardinal sign, right? You like to kick things off. You're very proactive. You're very go-get. So sometimes with this disseminating moon oracle card here, I really feel drawn to say that it's okay for things to take their own course without you jumping right in. It's not always to do with what you can do and jump in and kind of like you're very drawn towards guiding things, right? Aries is I am energy. It's about you. That comes with good things and bad, of course, as it does for everybody. But whatever secrets or truths or mysteries are being revealed to you during this this Pisces time, the Neptune retrograde, it's very important to take time to surrender what it is that you plan to do and evaluate whether you just need to take a step back. Your other card out is the supermoon card, emotions are running high. So we get a supermoon whenever it appears that the moon is much closer to the earth than it is the other nights that it's in the sky, right? So that's like a supermoon is also like it's like a full moon. So there's a lot that comes with the full moon. One of the things being like total confusion, right? That's why like the origins of the word lunatic or lunacy is like the fact that everyone goes crazy at the full moon, right? If this is joint for some of you, Aries, I would say that for the rest of this, Pisces is a water sign, you know, so it is about emotions as well. For some of you, it's clarity about emotions. It could be clarity about specific relationships in your life, Aries. Maybe realizing or learning something about someone that changes the way you view them for good or for bad. And joining these two oracle cards, I feel like they're a very good combination. So we have disseminating moon, take time to breathe out, and supermoon, emotions are running high. if you're in an emotional realm in your life, Aries, sometimes the best course of action is to really surrender your expectations and not guide things in a way that you feel is best. We'll get into the cards, but this is a very interesting energy that you have here, Aries. I really feel drawn to say that I really feel like for some of you this is about relationships, personal relationships, relationships with a very emotional basis, or perhaps even a spiritual basis, a spiritual connection. For some of you, I'm sure this could be a relationship, a romantic relationship, or a marriage. For others of you, I feel like this is like members of your soul tribe, right? Like your ride or dies, people that you feel have your back no matter what. It may be with this disseminating moon that maybe some of those relationships due to stress in life have been weakened. It may be that there's certain emotional things that you're dealing with for the both of you that are causing some kind of like havoc, that is requiring you, the literal advice here is just to take that time out, right? Step back. Don't feel like, if I meddle with it, I'm gonna fix it. Sometimes it's really the opposite of that. Yeah, you have a lot of emotions here with this Queen of Cups. There's definitely something to be said here, Aries. Yeah, a lot of emotions. Okay. Right off the bat, for some of you, I get a feeling of needing to move on without someone. And it's someone that you'd rather move on with than without, but you're realizing that you can't, you just can't do it anymore. I'll go through it row by row, and any intuitive messages that jump out at me, because this is an intuitive read like every read I do, I will of course point that out as well. Aries, in your top row outcome you have the Queen of Cups, so that's emotions, right? It could also be any kind of water sign. If you're in a relationship with a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, it could also just mean that this Pisces season is like really doing a number on you with this Queen of Cups, right? And especially, yeah, look here, we have emotions running high. The Queen of Wands the Queen of Cups next to the Six of Wands there is like, I feel like it's saying I'm expecting a victory here, right? Like I've done the hard work. The Six of Wands is celebration of like coming back from battle. And in this row, the final card you have is the Knight of Pentacles. That's very slow moving energy. It can also mean, I really feel like because you have the Five of Cups here as the central card to me is very important. The Five of Cups is about a sadness that you just feel very drawn. It's like wallowing in it almost, right? Like you're in it. You're really in it. And when you're in it, it's like emotions are running high. The Five of Cups speaks towards the things that hurt you the most, right? This is like the kind of crying energy that you like have that breakdown alone, and then you come out of your room or wherever it is, and you're like, again, like you've snapped into whoever it is that you were before you had the breakdown. You don't want anyone to see. Whatever it is that's causing you this sadness, it's with this inverted High Priestess, I feel like it's like you don't want anyone to see, right? I don't want to give direct messages right away, but for some of you, I really feel like this is like a twin flame relationship gone sour, Aries, because we have the Two of Wands, and it's in reverse. It can also mean plans that have fallen apart due to certain things that got thrown in the way, like spanners thrown in the works, and it's like you were working towards this with this Knight of Pentacles for a really long time, only to have it kind of turn sour in your face. If this is to do with a specific person here, I feel like someone just couldn't get it together. They just couldn't be stable with this inverse with this inverse King of Pentacles. Someone just lacked that stability, right? For some of you, with this take time to breathe out disseminating moon, this Five of Cups, and this this inverse High Priestess, I feel like this is a separation in a relationship. A separation's been needed to be taken, or a separation has been in place for quite some time now. Knight of Pentacles, that is fire energy, but it's very slow moving, right? And it's like, perhaps there's like embers of a relationship still burning here, Aries. But at this point, it's like the sadness is just too much. The High Priestess in reverse is like the unforeseen, right? It's interesting, I said at the start, right, that Neptune Retrograde is pulling back the curtain on the divine mysteries of the universe. The High Priestess is the divine mysteries of the universe. She's the subconscious, she's the feminine energy. So for some of you, the start of this Piscean full moon, it's a really emotionally charged time, Aries. For those of you in separation with someone, with this Five of Cups next to this inverse High Priestess, it's like you feel like you've lost everything, because the pillars on the side of the High Priestess here, right, that's Boaz and Hakin, which means strength and unity. This is like, with this inverse King of Pentacles, we flip that around, right? The strength is gone, the unity is gone. So again, with that being above this twin flame Two of Wands, is like out of union with if not a twin flame, then a very deeply spiritual relationship. I'm sure that for some of you this could be a friend that you've relied on for a very long time. For some of you this could be like a family member that you've just had some kind of a falling out with. King of Pentacles in reverse, you know, that could point towards someone maybe slightly older than you. Not necessarily. I'm sure for some of you that's not the case. And this Chariot card here is kind of saying, like, where do we go from here? When so much has been turned upside down and there's so much havoc wreaked, and your emotions are so hard to still, like, what do you do? We have only two Cups cards, but it's the Five of Cups and the Queen of Cups that's very heavy spiritual, deeply spiritual, emotional energy. The Chariot is also the sign of Cancer, so if some of you are dealing with a Cancer, or for others of you, I feel like it's just like another reinforcement of that water energy with this Chariot, which is the card of Cancer. This Queen of Wands really strikes me. It's like standalone energy. Wands is fire energy. Aries, you're a fire sign, and it's like, despite like feeling all of these burns, it's like you're still standing strong, right? You're still like, how do I just someone point me, like, what do I need to do next? This is a very emotional reading, because I mean a reading in which there's a lot of emotional components, because emotions are often very like, you know, it's like, where do you go from here, right? If there's something in your life that, you know, it's like practically things aren't going right, someone can point you in the right direction, someone can give you aid, but when it's unresolved emotions, especially with this inverse High Priestess emotions that you're being secretive about, Aries, it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Where is this going? With this Chariot next to this Two of Wands in reverse, I also feel like it's kind of like, I have no plan of where to go next. All my plans have failed me. So I'm not surprised that you've gotten to take time to breathe out. For some of you, I feel drawn to say, you need to process your pain is valid, you need to process it if you're ever to move on from it, right? And we have a fair amount of fire energy here. We have that Six of Wands, we have the Two of Wands, and we have the Queen of Wands. That's a court card, right? So that's slightly like bigger fire energy than the pip cards, but you're being called with this Knight of Pentacles, which is slow-moving energy. I don't want to say to inaction, but I do want to say towards a time where you don't directly interfere and meddle in things or in relationships. And I mean that in the best way possible, because it's not about the fact that, it's not about me saying you can or you can't fix it. That's not, for me to say, because there's a million individual situations out there. But it's kind of saying that you're not taking the time to process whatever it is that has happened. Whatever it is, Aries, you need to process it first. You really need to focus on yourself. You need to process perhaps what other people have done to you. In the grand scheme of things, I'm going to pull some clarifying cards to see how this energy is moving forward for you. For some of you, this could just be like some kind of like temporary setbacks. But it's like a setback that really hurts, right? Like, it's like maybe you've heard no so much that it's like, when you get another no, even though it's not more significant than the rest, it's like, wow, that really kills that one time. It only takes one time for to hear something like one more time that really breaks you. Yeah, for some of you, this is about being in separation with somebody with this inverse Two of Cups. It's like the Six of Wands, right? I'm willing to do whatever is necessary to fight for this connection. But it's like, what do I need to do to fight for this connection? Take the long road. Realize that there are no shortcuts. And there are no shortcuts because sometimes we need to work on ourselves and process our feelings first, no matter how much we love somebody, Aries. Yeah. Next to the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Star. That is divine timing. So you need to follow the action of divine timing. Right, the Star, she's feeding the well there. I always say it takes a very, very long time to feed a well. And the reason that I always say that is because where I'm from, there's a cultural metaphor of when people say that something takes a long time, they say it takes a long time to feed a well, right? But it's like the rewards are so worth it. Sometimes the things that are destined for you, Aries, the things that are the most divine, the things that touch the heart most, take a really long time to get to. And yeah, you need to take that time to breathe out. It's literally, you need to take time, Aries. You need to put your can-do attitude on the back burner and almost, I want to say, behave not like yourself. Five of Cups in reverse. Yeah. So with the Five of Cups in reverse, we have the Queen of Swords, right? The Queen of Swords is about nurturing and fostering mental clarity. So with emotions running high with this card, you need to foster your own mental clarity here in the sense that there's something you need to process, right? There's something like you need to analyze all the facts. You need to reach a place of, I want to say, like mental rest, where you're not mentally fatigued by everything that's going on, Aries. And I wouldn't be surprised if this clarity with this, because the Queen of Swords, she's like above the clouds here, right? She's cutting through the clouds. So I feel like this this Pisces energy, this Neptune in retrograde, and this Pisces full moon for you is about seeking some clarity in the heart space by reorganizing the mind space, by paying attention to that. Also by paying attention to signs as they come from the universe with this High Priestess and this Star card here. Yeah, the Two of Pentacles, that's balance, it's duality, right? The twos are also about an enlightenment that comes when it's like, in order to gain the rewards, you need to be able to deal with what's on your plate. So it's like, in order to juggle, to balance, you need to have the skills in place first before, you can become like a juggling performer. So for you, Aries, it's like you need to do the heavy lifting before you are offered that. You need to be stable within yourself before you seek stability in a situation. Yeah, the Magician card has just jumped out. I don't really take jumpers from the pack, but the Magician is about having all the tools necessary at your disposal to change your situation or to change some circumstances. And I feel like that is what this development of this Neptune retrograde until November 28th is about for you, Aries. And I feel like there's going to be like a major shift, I want to say like an episode where you just see things clearly. With this Queen of Swords, it's like once you'll see the things so clearly that it's like it'll completely lift you out of whatever this situation is. Yeah, the Chariot and the Empress. That time of abundance will come. You will get there, Aries. But the Empress is also about letting things take their time, because the Empress rules the threes, right? So before that we have the twos, which are ruled by the High Priestess, and then the ones, which are ruled by the Magician. And interestingly, Aries, you have both of those in this reading. So that points towards work that needs to be done first before the abundance comes. Now, the Empress is pregnant. She's laying back in like a lush verdant garden here, right? Pregnancy, that's a time of carrying, of nurturing, of realizing that a harvest cannot be sped up, right? Pregnancy takes 9 months, and you need all of those 9 months. In fact, you need more, but things like anatomically are rushed ahead a little bit because 9 months is the best time to give birth. But it's realizing that, what do you need to do during that time? Care for yourself, nurture yourself, think about your thoughts, right? Think about what it is you're manifesting too. So it's like realizing that the end goal comes when you are diligent to every part step by step, and not by trying to jump somewhere by believing that you can take shortcuts, right? When it comes to emotional work especially, there are no shortcuts. And that's very evident because, when someone gets back together with someone, it's very like, oh, I love you, I forgive you. Unconditional love is hard work. I would say it's one of the hardest things that comes as a challenge in this life. And when people love someone and they want to be back together before it's time, and it's like someone does that thing that pisses you off, you go off, right? Like what comes to your mind? Not the unconditional love, the 10 things that they did that really annoyed you during that last time that you argued and you haven't had a chance to process, and they haven't had a chance to process. So you need to trust in divine timing with this, Aries, and that things will be revealed to you when the time is right. And only when the time is right should you take action. Because the Magician is about creating change, but it's like that seed of change, right? Ben Lucas explains the Magician as like, what kind of thought would you like to think next? It's not even a new thought, it's the inception of thought. And when your emotions are running high, again with the supermoon card, you can't possibly do that because you have 1,000,001 other things on your mind, Aries. Okay. Yeah. The Two of Wands, right? For some of you, where this is like not being in union with a twin flame, for some of you this is like plans that fell apart. Yeah, there's a lot of weight from the past, right? I always feel like saying with all of these wands is like the straw that broke the camel's back. Letting things come together is also about realizing that things take time with that Knight of Pentacles and the Star. The thing is, this reading is very emotionally heavy, and I feel like this is stuff that's either happening right now, unfolding right now, or it's just happened. But the rewards for your persistence are so great. You know, the Magician, the Star, the Empress, the very definition of abundance, manifestation, Neptune and Pisces, serious manifestation energy. Yeah, with this Queen of Wands, I feel like this is you not giving up. You're still pushing on, despite how you feel. You're a very resilient sign, Aries. Yeah, temperance. What is temperance? A virtue. Patience. Pouring those cups back and forth. It's also the card of alchemy, right? Certain higher knowledge. Temperance, it's an angel, right? Temperance is an angel in this deck. And in fact in the Coleman Smith weight deck. It's about not letting your darkest thoughts defeat you. It's about achieving a higher version of your reality. Temperance with this Queen of Wands is telling you not to give up. There's so much patience that's required here. But it's so divinely guided, Aries, that whatever it is you believe in here, I really feel like saying this is like, you are not alone. This is wrapping up some serious life lessons. Whoever it is that hurt you, they're also tangled in some life lessons here. I feel like telling some of you, right, Temperance is also the card of Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, that's end of November to end of December, right? And that is when we're coming out of this Neptune Retrograde Pisces energy. So, yeah, it's like you just need to hold on. Once the veil is lifted, there's going to be so much learning that takes place. There's also so much divine timing. The Star is also about, the universe, guidance from the universe. And you need to go through this, and you're coming out the other side so much stronger with this Temperance card, with this Queen of Wands, with this Empress, with this Magician, and now with this Nine of Pentacles. Complete mental ease, abundance, blessing. It's a 9, right? 9s are about completion. 9s are about, I've learnt my life lesson. The 9s are also ruled by the Hermit, right? So that's inner self-reflection, inner work. And what is a hermitage? It's a spiritual journey. So this is like a spiritual journey of a different caliber, Aries, but it's very powerful nonetheless for everyone involved. Everyone involved here. Yeah. You have the Eight of Wands here next to this Queen of Cups. So I feel like that's almost like a call to deal with this situation sooner rather than later. But by deal with it, I don't mean, again, directly getting involved. I mean, do the mental work, right? Like, start. The Eight of Cups is also about, like, news, right? Or, like, it's like be ready energy. Be ready for, I almost feel like saying inspiration from unusual places. So this might mean, again, like when things are revealed to you, it kind of feels like they're seemingly coming from nowhere. But, they have like an emotional kind of aspect attached to them. Judgment here is about dealing with the past, right? And with the Six of Wands here, the Six of Wands and the Two of Cups here is like a union that just can't come together at this moment in time. And Judgment is about energy from the past, right? So it's like whatever this past is, it will be resolved, but this taking of time needs to happen first for that to happen, Aries. And I also feel like saying Judgment is about accounting for the past in a way that's ironically free from judgment, in the sense that we've all committed mistakes, right? And sometimes when you're in a very heated or tense situation with somebody, it feels very much like I've done no wrong, right? And you need to step away, and you need that time away from the situation to look at what you've also done. It's very interesting. Look, you have the angel presiding over this judgment scene, and you have Temperance here. That's really telling me that, like, when the time is right, right? Temperance is also the angel of peace. So if your emotions are running high, you need to embrace that energy of peace before the situation can resolve itself. It really feels like a guidance of illuminating information that comes to you, Aries. And I would always feel with 12th house energy, it's very much like the universe in the nicest way doesn't care if you're ready or not. Like, things come when they come. I really want to pull you some, these are called Soul's Journey cards. They're like life lesson cards. So for the sign of Aries, we're going to pull either one or two cards. I'll see how I feel. About what kind of lessons or reflection you're being guided to examine for the rest of this 2020 Pisces energy. Yeah, we have honesty. And the message is, I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Being self-honest is one of the hardest things that anyone can do, and it's a real life skill, right? It's like a real adult energy, like putting aside your childishness. And the Queen of Swords is also about honesty, right? She hears the case that's made to her fully. She thinks about the facts. She comes from a mental clarity space rather than a heart space. And sometimes it's hard to be honest with yourself. And here I feel like it's like too much has happened. Too much has happened that's stopping you from being able to reflect on the situation for what it truly is. Because the emotions are so high that you're seeing it from... It's like first-hand effects, right? But time is like a great clarifier in that you kind of start to see things from a third-person point of view. And right now it might feel like you're kind of being left out in the cold. Maybe that you can't trust those around you. Maybe you feel like you're very much like doing this on your own with the solitary Queen of Wands card. But yeah, the next card out is the World. So what is the World? It's about beginnings and endings. It's about ends of karmic cycles. It's about learning lessons. It's also about the world at large. So for some of you that, if this is perhaps tied to long distance, or if this is tied to something that like you just couldn't get things in order to the point where you could be with somebody because perhaps like there was too much to do job-wise, maybe you had too many responsibilities, you had too many things that needed taking care of, there will come a time when the world's energy here with the star in the World aligns so that you can pursue this again. I really feel like with Judgment, with Temperance, and with the star specifically, it's like this isn't over. So for some of you that are hoping for a reconnection, I would say that it is possible, but we're looking at the very tail end of 2020, right? I almost feel like saying like late December. or expect this perhaps to start picking up at the start of next year, so January 2021 or so. But yeah, because I mean we have Temperance, here we have the Star, that's Aquarian energy. So that's like January, right? I would just say be patient, Aries. Be patient with whatever this is. There's going to be major realizations that are coming your way, Aries, with this World card. The world is also about, right, like she's reflecting on that world in the third person. She's above it all. She's in the air. And it's like this Neptune retrograde energy and this manifestation can only happen once you have that third person view and reflection and experience. So whatever this is about, I'm sure for some of you it's not necessarily about relationships, or it can be interpersonal relationships, but I do plan on doing an interpersonal reading some other time, but it is on the my schedule to do interpersonal relationships between each zodiac and then all the other signs. But yeah, I really feel like time just needs to be taken, and you just need to step away from whatever this energy is, Aries. You really need to let it all go. Exhale with this take time to breathe card. Let things wane. Let things wane. The supermoon, that feels like the big impact, right? Because I'm being very drawn towards this lunar crater on the card. It's like the big impact. And now we need for like that chaotic energy to wane before it can wax into something stable with this Nine of Pentacles, tempered with this Angel of Peace, honesty from yourself and from others. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. But the thing is, you should be able to expect truth from the people that are closest to you, right? With this Queen of Swords, which joins this Five of Cups in the middle, it's like there's a great hurt over things that were perhaps not said, or unfair judgment, or even I almost feel like things that were suppressed, and that really hurt. But the time apart is bringing you into a next level energy. Sometimes spiritual lessons need to take place in order for you to gain more practical skills, in order for you to be able to balance the outer world with the inner world. But there's a lot of big shift happening towards the end of this Neptune retrograde for you, Aries. So I would say as well with this Queen of Swords, because that's mental energy, it's like watch what you think. Really watch what you think, because there's a really strong manifestation in this with the Neptune and Pisces here, and you really need to think about what it is that you want to manifest with this abundance Empress. This is like a confirmation that it's like with the Chariot and the Empress, it's like the end goal will be reached eventually, because the Chariot is forward movement, right? Strong forward movement. But the Chariot and the Sevens are about the coming together of opposing forces, right? So for some of you, I'm sure that is a reunion. For some of you, this is a divine twin flame reunion, a reunion with soulmates. For some of you, this is like with the Queen of Swords and the Chariot, I feel like saying this is finally breaking ground, moving forward on an issue that's been really weighing on your mind. I would say it's maybe been really weighing on the mind of the masculine energy in this connection. I don't mean a male person, I just mean a masculine energy. Whoever it is that's very grounded and likes to take control in a way that's like, I want the best good for everyone's possible outcome. Maybe it's like they're not sold on something yet. With the Magician, the Empress, and the Two of Pentacles, I feel like for some of you this is about not being sold on having a child. And I feel like you will reach a decision on that, but it needs to be given some time and thought about objectively for the both of you. But whatever, I really just feel like my parting message is, whatever the sadness is, it will pass. And I'm going to leave it there. So thank you for watching, Aries. Please leave me any feedback, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of 2020.